Okay, a while back someone asked for Drax versus Lobo. Now, of course, they said the cool versions, which of course would be the older versions. So I will do a fight with the older versions and the newer versions. Now, I do have a soft spot for older Drax. Yes, this is the first appearance of Drax. I don't know, you can see the Stan Lee signature. Also, it's the first appearance of Thanos. Being a huge Thanos fan, it would make sense that I know a decent amount about the character of Drax. Drax, for a long time, was pretty much Space Hulk. He was a giant, green, physically imposing guy who single-mindedly just wanted to fight, find, and kill Thanos. And Thanos beat the daylights out of him almost every time. Every time he came back with a new, stronger power, whether it be the ability to shoot energy beams. And this guy had an incredible level of invulnerability, to the point where Silver Surfer flew him from Earth into the sun. Drax was still holding on because he was that strong and survived flying through the sun. That's pretty impressive. But he was an idiot. The original incarnation of Lobo was such a kind of a relatively generic villain. I want to say he had like a purple suit and had like purple, almost Krusty the Clown sort of hair. Looked really bad. Until they decided, you know what? We'll make him cool, we'll make him Space Wolverine. So you got Space Hulk and Space Wolverine. I know, it's the ultimate fight. And then, towards the time of the Annihilation wave, Drax came out from another resurrection in a much smaller version, which people call Riddick Drax, because he looks like Riddick. He looks like Vin Diesel's character. And in the New 52, there's now 2 Lobos. One who is old school, boss stitch, big dude, super muscular, smoking a stogie, and the other one is Twilight Lobo. Twilight Lobo is much more calm, cool, and sophisticated. Recently found out that he actually could take the overall measure of someone kind of like Supergirl. So he did a pretty decent job against Supergirl. So we'll start off with the cool versions first, and then the more lame versions afterwards. I do this through a criteria system: intelligence, findability, strength, speed, durability, invulnerability, energy rejection, versatility, and X factor. So we're going to with the cool versions. Intelligence. Man. Drax got sidetracked from his hunt against Thanos by watching the television with I Love Lucy on it. Where Lobo was able to keep a pretty decent conversation while he was drunk and beating up Superman. So intelligence goes to Lobo. Fighting ability. Lobo is a actually really skilled fighter. He's the person who pretty much killed his own planet single-handedly. So he definitely takes it in fighting. Strength. Lobo, relatively comparable to Superman in strength. Drax, however, had levels that were beyond Hulk. That's how strong Drax was. Drax was somebody where they were stuck in it was a soul world, and Drax was going to jump and destroy the planet. And people were like, oh, yeah, he's extra enough to destroy the planet. By jumping. Yeah, he can high enough height, land, and destroy the planet. So he's stupid strong. So they reduced his intelligence to barely that of a marble, but gave him probably the most physically dominant individual. Speed. In one of Lobo's times he took on Superman, he is a blur against Superman. I should mention too, Lobo was drunk. And he beats up Superman. Quickly. Durability. Lobo can come back from drop his own blood. I mean, that's... Lobo can be beaten to a pool of his own blood and come back. Quickly. Take that, Wolverine. Invulnerability. Ironically, Drax takes this one. The only people who have been able to successfully put Drax down tend to be Titans. So people who are, really close to Sky, to Highfather, to Skyfather, who are that sort of level, can really put Drax down. Beyond that, it's normally someone confusing it. Maybe like a finger trap. Energy projection. Drax, towards the end of his awesome time, had cosmic energy blasts that came out of his hands. You really can't beat them. You got a big guy who's strong, stupid, and can blast cosmic energy. Great sort of character. Versatility. Drax always came back stronger every time, but he still didn't know how to use his powers creatively. Where the other person, Lobo, is a world-class bounty hunter. Uses everything at his disposal. Tremendously versatile individual. Plus, he almost always has his motorcycle, which has got a tremendous amount of additional weapons to it. X Factor. This is also going to go to Lobo. And here's why. Drax, being so singly focused on fighting Thanos, is going to almost want to leave a fight to go try to find Thanos. Where Lobo is all about breaking necks and cashing checks. And Lobo will be like, you know what? I can probably confuse him, have him turn the other way, probably knock him out, and just take his body somewhere, I'll be fine. So out of those two versions, Lobo, and Lobo being a match for Superman, is going to be able to beat somebody who essentially is Space Hulk. Another same thing with Riddick Drax. Riddick Drax came out significantly weaker. So Riddick Drax actually came back closer to his original power level, but was definitely a lot more intelligent. So now you go from giant, dumb Drax to very intelligent, very strong, very physically gifted. Just not the unstoppable creature created by Kronos designed to kill Thanos. On the other side, you've got the suave, sophisticated, smaller, twilighted version of Lobo, who was on his way to get his own series, but they got canceled because I think somebody at DC probably went, wow, this character's lame. But Riddick Drax is also kind of lame. A character who decides to use knives. Terran knives. And uses those in a battle against the Annihilation Wave. So let's get going. Intelligence. Ironically, Twilight Lobo, very intelligent, very suave, very smooth, very sophisticated. He is taking on somebody who, ironically, is resurrected by an elder god, and who is actually a very, very intelligent individual. So ironically, Riddick Drax now is a very smart individual. Fighting ability. Riddick Drax is tremendously skilled when it comes to fighting. This is a guy who's taking Terran weapons and using them against aliens, and is doing a very, very good job. Strength. This is where the loss of all those reincarnations is going to come into play. Twilight Lobo was able to show that he can hang somewhat okay with Supergirl, but it still puts him above what we see from Riddick Drax. Speed. Again, we're still looking at Twilight Lobo. He still has that DC level of superhuman speed, which we're really not seeing that much from Drax. Durability. He still has a really, really solid healing factor. So it's going to put him, still ahead of what we see from Drax. Vulnerability. Drax was getting cut, he was taking damage. He was showing that he could do a tremendous amount of fighting, but he was not someone who was entirely as vulnerable as he was in the previous state. Versus Twilight Lobo, who was taking some pretty decent shots from Supergirl and still surviving. Energy projection. Did I mention that Drax lost pretty much all of his powers? So now energy projection pretty much is going to come from what else they carry with them. So now I'm looking at this is going to come from some of the other gadgets that you tend to see Twilight Lobo tend to use, because he is, after all, a bounty hunter. Versatility. Twilight Lobo, again, bounty hunter. He's going to have a bit more tools to the trade he's going to bring with him. And now we're down to X Factor. The bizarre thing about Riddick Drax at this point in time is he was able to pierce a barrier that was surrounding Thanos. Some people look at the fact that Drax was able to kill Thanos as a reduction of Thanos' invulnerability, when in actuality Drax was created by a god to kill a Titan. Specifically. And it wasn't until Drax went through this reincarnation he was actually able to achieve his goal of defeating Thanos. So the X Factor actually going to go to Riddick Drax. Doesn't really make a difference because it doesn't mean the same. It's 3-6. You know, this version of Drax has been so power downgraded. And even though Twilight Lobo has been downgraded a lot too, he still has more than enough than what it would take to defeat Riddick Drax.